We're going to show you how to remove moss from a ladder. There's definitely situations where that's necessary. It's pretty rare, to be honest, but there is situations. So there's some specific techniques we're going to show you. We'll start off by, I usually start, so when you're doing a typical roof cleaning, you're going to be doing kind of like top down. When you're going from a ladder, I find it better to go bottom up. So I always have a hand brush with me. I like to start at the bottom, and I'll work my way up when I'm doing from a ladder. So we just basically want to start off with the rows with your hand brush. It would be best, by the way, for you to, because you always want to try to have one hand on the ladder, but it would be best if you brought up some bungees or kept your harness on and harness yourself to the ladder so you have free movement without worrying about, potentially falling off the roof. It'd also be a good idea to make sure that you have bungees wrapped around your ladder and attached onto the gutter. For this training video's purposes, we're just going to show you the techniques right now. And for all of this stuff at the bottom, there's really not a whole lot of technique. The main thing I want to point out is you just have to have your hand brush as your pole. Obviously, it's too long, not going to be able to reach anything down here towards the left. So, okay, that's about as far up as I can reach without overextending. So now I'll go ahead and grab the pole. All right, from here, I want to make sure I'm kind of leaning on the ladder. I don't really want to be out here so much. I want to kind of support my body weight on the ladder as much as I can. Sometimes I'll even kind of lean in a little bit, but we're going to take the pole. Brand new brushes are the best when you're working from a ladder. You want a really good brush to work with. And we're going to take the corner edge of the brush, and remember in another video we showed, you kind of just go back and forth with small movements. You can either pull the brush towards you like this, or you can get it just kind of on the bottom lip edge and just slow movements back and forth. You have to be wary of the fact, like right now I'm really close to a piece of siding. So I'm mostly going to have to use this method here. Just slow back and forth. Okay, and then starting to get a little too high up, so I need to extend my pole. I'm still using the corner of my bristles for the most part to get into the groove. I'm still not applying pressure, by the way. I'm not pushing into the shingle. I'm just trying to get my brush kind of lay on the lip edge, and then I'm using motion to get the rest off there. And that's about all the growth that I see on this. So this section's pretty much done here. From here, let's say this section had a lot more moss on it. What about all the debris that's left here, right? How do we get that off? Well, it's never a really good idea to have a leaf blower on from a ladder. So for the most part, when you're working on a steep roof like this, if it's really light growth, like what we just removed, I'll just kind of use the brush to try to pull down some of the thicker stuff and get that down into the gutter line the best I can. But I'm not going to take a leaf blower out and try to blow it off from a ladder. It's a little bit too dangerous. Instead, I'm just going to get as much as I can by pulling the larger moss chunks down with my pole, or using my hand to kind of brush down some of the last of the stuff into the gutter line. So whenever you're doing it from a ladder, a little bit harder to get all the little surface granules 100% off, but as long as it looks something like this, pretty clear, pretty clean, and you're good. The only way that I would do a leaf blower from a ladder is if it was a handheld one, not a backpack blower, which we do have those in stock. And you'd want to still make sure that you'd be harnessed off to the ladder in order to do that. I wouldn't use the backpack blower. They're just too strong, and they could you could fall off the ladder or push the ladder away from the gutter line doing that. But a handhold blower, you could do that. You could turn it on and kind of guide the debris down with a handheld one. That's pretty much it. The only other small thing I might mention is we want to try to get growth out from between the flashing, the siding, and the composite. If you've got a really tight crevice like this one, you might not be, especially if there's not accessibility to a section of the roof, you might not be able to get all that stuff out, in which case use a heavier treatment. So this is very tight flashing right here. One small trick, got a section that's pretty tight. I've learned that you can unscrew your brush and kind of use this as a way of getting into tighter crevices. Let's just say that there was thick growth here. You can, if you've got enough space, you can get your pole in there and try to drag that growth down. But that's not the case here. But that shows you the generalized technique of cleaning moss off a ladder.